Hello. Welcome to the Nerdy Folks Podcast, a conversation about the nerdy things we love and the things that matter most. My name is Matthew Seipel Anderson.
And I am Katie Seipel Anderson.
We are the hosts of the Nerdy Folks Podcast. We love this community, and we're glad you're with us today. This is the second episode in our Heroes and Villains series. We're going to be having some fun with the Marvel Avengers Ultimate Character Guide, reading some comments from Facebook, talking about Chat GPT, talking about how you can be a hero of one, and, if that wasn't enough, sharing our thoughts on Miss Marvel. Just a little bit. We'll talk about Miss Marvel more later. Hi.
Hey.
What you got there?
So I've got a pretty awesome Marvel Avengers, the Ultimate Character Guide, updated and expanded, which you got from the library.
Kudos to all the librarians out there.
I love librarians. So what we decided we're going to do, because these things are full of characters that we're not super familiar with.
Or familiar with at all.
So we're just going to open it up to a page, and see who it is and talk about it. So I opened it up, and this is actually a pretty well-used page. And
Okay.
I realized that's why it opened up to it.
Yeah.
But my eyes went directly to Big Bertha.
Big Bertha.
Which is a very interesting one, because her real fictional name is Ashley Crawford, and she's from Wisconsin.
Hey, Upper Midwest.
Gotta love that. So I'm going to read this, because for all of us in this northern area, Minnesota, Wisconsin, and specifically even the Duluth area where we're initially from, this is a very special superhero. Ashley Crawford is Wisconsin's most famous supermodel. She is also a mutant, able to alter her body fat at will. Ashley helped the West Coast Avengers fight the creature that named That Which Endures. That's a great creature name. That's going to be in our villain series, our villain part of the series, That Which Endures. Before joining a team of superhero misfits known as the Great Lakes Avengers. The Great Lakes Avengers.
Yeah, that deserves another applause.
I'm just thinking about Lake Superior right now. They changed their name to the Great Lakes Champions after legal threats from the actual Avengers. Oh, the drama.
Oh, man.
The drama in the Marvel universe. I mean, man, she can rapidly generate enough fat to render her body completely bulletproof.
That's amazing.
That's pretty cool.
That is amazing. I feel like, no.
I mean, you could probably just like fall from the sky and like change your body fat and it'd be like a bubble. You could do a lot with that.
They've got pictures showing her, holding up massive amounts of, like a building falling or something, so she must be extra strong, too.
Super strong,
Man.
super strength from that. That's pretty cool.
Huh. All right, well, I'm flipping over.
That's a unique superpower.
Very unique, very unique. I'm opening up a random page, and I have opened up to Power Man.
I love how creative they are
I feel
with
like
these.
that's like the end of the day, and they're like, we just need a name for this guy. Just call him Power Man.
He's got power.
Victor Alvarez, son of the supervillain Shades, an old enemy of Luke Cage. Shades was killed when their old tenement building was destroyed in a superhero battle. His energy-projecting visor shattered in the destruction, and fragments were embedded in Victor's body, giving him the ability to absorb life force. As Power Man, Victor was trained by Iron Fist before joining Luke Cage's Mighty Avengers team. Like father, like son.
Interesting.
Huh, Power Man. So would you rather have Power Man's abilities or Big Bertha's?
I really would like to be a part of the Great Lakes Champions. That sounds pretty cool. But also the whole like absorbing power thing, like that just seems like a really cool superhero power. to have. But, I mean, can he stop a bullet?
Probably not. Unless you could
So-
absorb it.
That actually is a tough one. Superhero named Big Bertha, though.
Well, we asked some of you what makes a great hero, and you responded on Facebook. So here are some of the top comments. Some of them were quite long. Some of you waxed very eloquent. Many of them were simple, like integrity, honesty, self-sacrifice. There was one that was something about
Some of you are very musical. Multiple of you.
Oh, yeah. A bunch of people put the song lyrics in. I don't remember the name of it, but it's gotta be sure, it's gotta be strong, it's gotta be fresh from the fight. I think that's how it goes.
I think so. That's my. I don't remember what it's called either. If you remember what it's called, let us know.
Someone put, someone who metaphorically plants the orchard that he or she will not live to see grow to fruition. That was a fun one.
That's a very thought-provoking one.
Yeah, thinking about
'Cause there's
future
like,
generations.
future generations.
Yeah,
That is kind of almost a more tough sacrifice because you don't actually see the fruit of it.
right. But Katie decided to get a little scientific with this whole thing and break down the responses using ChatGPT. So why don't you tell us about that?
Well, ChatGPT is an interesting tool to kind of play around with a little bit. So I put in the question asking ChatGPT to summarize the responses to the question, what makes a great hero? And then I just copied and pasted the responses that we got from Facebook.
And specifically, you said summarize the responses in percentages.
In percentages, because I wanted to know the actual percentages, not just summaries of what people said. I wanted to know what common themes we're seeing, what was the most important theme. So I actually did say in percentages, thank you. I'm going from memory. Matt's actually looking at my conversation with ChatGPT. And then it brought out a whole bunch of themes, actually, with like minor percentages in it, like 30 different ones or something. I'm like, can you summarize this to 5? So I asked it to re-summarize it to 5, the five most prominent themes. And it did.
It said, certainly, here's a further summarized breakdown into 5 categories.
So the first one is sacrifices and selflessness, which is 22% of you. And that probably is a prevailing theme in general for heroes. And then strength and courage was another one. It has a little subcategory under it that specifically refers to battle. So I think maybe it was pulling out some of those song lyrics. But that being said, strength and courage are parts of our hero, what makes a great hero. Integrity and honesty came out as a 3-part tie for integrity and honesty, compassion and kindness, and role modeling and inspiration. Those were the three final categories, and they actually all tied.
Then you asked ChatGPT what it thought of that. She just typed, what do you think of that?
It's always interesting and a little scary to ask what AI might think, but she came up with a pretty diplomatic answer. I don't know why I said she. Maybe because Siri and Alexa are female voices in my head, so ChatGPT is too. I'm not sure.
Interesting. So ChatGPT gave a sort of long answer, but really the last sentence really summarizes it. And it says, overall, it's a thought-provoking exploration of a concept that holds significant meaning and resonance across different societies and generations. So,
again, a diplomatic answer, not super opinionated. She didn't say, I think it's definitely sacrifice and selflessness.
But all generations have had heroes.
That's true.
Heroes resonate with people. We all want someone strong, morally good, who will fight and help us. So it makes sense. That's why heroes do resonate with us. And I think that in life, at least a part of us wants to be a hero to somebody. I mean, that's a good feeling that we get. And maybe we can't be a hero to everybody, but we can be a hero to the people in our world. We can be a hero to one.
To one. Or 2 or 3 or 4, whoever's like in your sphere. But the whole idea sometimes is when we think of heroes, we're like, oh, those like extreme people with extreme talents, or the people who are in the right place at the right time, or something like that. But the truth is, all of us are in a place and a time where we can be even like a small bit of a hero to somebody by doing some sort of self-sacrifice or standing up for someone, kind of having courage, even just showing compassion and kindness to people by saying something nice to someone that doesn't really cost anything, letting someone go in front of you in line. When I'm by myself, but I see a mom with young kids behind me, I oftentimes will let them go first, because I'm like, I know what it's like to stand in line with antsy toddlers. So
Even if you feel like you don't have a lot of strength or status or position, you can still be selfless and sacrifice for someone else in your life and be a hero to them. Greatness has always been historically portrayed as strength and might. But Jesus came with meekness and self-sacrifice. But in raising up everyone else, he became the greatest hero of all.
I mean, think about the Flurkin.
The Flurkin did its part. So we just watched The Marvels, and we had a lot of fun with it.
Just have to say, I think the Flurkin was the real hero.
Oh my gosh, the self-sacrifice, the giving of its digestive space.
Lots of little Flurkin kitties running around. I'm pretty sure that was my favorite. My favorite part of the entire movie.
It was.
Was when the baby Flurkin were born. Like, what are these things? Why are they everywhere?
So overall, I think we've already given away that we enjoyed The Marvels. We liked it. If you haven't seen it, see it. It's worth it. It'll be worth your time. It's not too long, which was, I think, definitely worked to the film's advantage that it wasn't overly long. Katie, any things that you didn't like about it?
I didn't really like the singing scene. The beginning of it was pretty funny because they were like this, society of song, and that's pretty funny. But it kind of progressed into a little bit of a weird scene.
I'll play devil's advocate. I enjoyed the singing part, although I will admit it was a bit silly and went on quite a while.
I think that was my biggest problem with it, because there's kind of silly parts throughout the whole movie. And so that wasn't really like misplaced, but it just seemed to last too long.
Yeah. I think that this movie is definitely a bit on the more silly side in general as far as Marvel goes, and some people might be a little turned off, but I thought the chemistry was great between the actresses, and the overall movie was nice and tight and very enjoyable. That's my synopsis.
I still think the Flurkin were the real hero.
Well, yeah, that was the highlight. The funniest part, can I say the funniest part? It's been out a while, so
I think you can.
Here's a spoiler. My favorite part of the whole movie was when they're in a space. I don't need to explain the whole scene, but they're in a small spacecraft that's spinning or going out of control, and a Flurkin who's eaten a person gets sick and vomits them out, and it's really, really funny.
I think the hurting the Flurkin cats scene, where the cats are like eating the people to save them, was probably my favorite.
Yes, very good. Well, if you haven't already, please like, subscribe, share the show, leave us a 5-star review everywhere you can because it helps us spread the word. If you're going to be at Adepticon in Chicago, Illinois, I will be there as well. That's happening March 20th through the 24th. At this one, I do not have a booth, though. I'll just be hanging out on Friday and part of Saturday. So if you're going to be around March 22nd and 23rd, reach out through the website. Maybe we can say hi. Until next time, take care. God bless. Bye-bye.